Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. My name is Deidra, and today I'm going to be talking about why I don't desire labor. And these videos have been going around where women, and I'll probably insert some pictures here, are talking about their experiences, and all genders can relate to this, I'm sure, of how they don't desire to fit into this idea of capitalism, and where they hope to serve their own dreams and goals of being entrepreneurs or whatever that may look like to you in a meaningful way. I currently work a 9 to 5, and I myself have goals outside of that which pertain more to a creative role for myself, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Specifically looking at education, I think that where most of this starts is that society kind of places you in a place where they're like, okay, like this is exactly how you need to live your life in order to be successful, but in reality it doesn't pan out that way. You go to school, you start in kindergarten, and you make your way up to high school, and then high school tells you need to go to college, and then college is like, take all these classes and stay up all these late nights so that you can be successful when you leave here, and you go to look for a job, and it's not as easy as they made it seem. And I think that it's time for people like us to kind of break out of that shell and go into something that feels more suiting to you as a person and what you want for yourself moving forward. You will see me looking down a lot. I have a whole bunch of sticky notes in my hand pertaining to what I want to talk about that I kind of pulled from the other videos that I also relayed with that I want to touch on more. So the first thing I want to talk about is this idea of main character energy. I think that a lot of times we get caught up a lot in what's happening around us, and we don't really take the time to get to know who we are as a person and really stay in that main character energy. Main character energy is basically you doing what's best for you at all times, and sometimes it's scary because you're going to put yourself in uncomfortable spaces and situations, but that's what makes you different from everybody else and why you're capable of doing it, because it's your vision and you're willing to put yourself in spaces that other people won't, and so you're giving yourself more opportunity without you even thinking about it, which is kind of creepy to think about, because you're putting yourself out there and you're doing what you need to do because it's being the person that you see yourself being in the future and taking those steps to be that person, and that takes you stepping into that role every single day moving forward. So if that means that you want a hot banging body before next month because you want to show off your abs, that takes you stepping into the gym today and taking that first step. Like me and YouTube, it takes me just making that video, and instead of waiting for the perfect time or the perfect moment for me to make that video in order to get things going, and that same concept goes for you as well. I think this is important to keep in mind, this main character energy, because a lot of times when other people feel like it's something that they wouldn't do, or because they're scared to do it or makes them feel uncomfortable, they try to exert that energy onto you and project, and it makes you kind of step out of what you thought you wanted for yourself, but really it is still something you want for yourself. You just have other people trying to get you to stay on that linear path that society has created for us, which is that education and then getting a job. I think it's really important to kind of stick to your own. If you really have a goal that you want to execute, then do it. You can't go seeking other people's approval if you want to be successful in something that only you know, or that calling is made for you. People aren't going to understand the vision that you set for yourself, and so you're going to have to prove that to other people by having the most ultimate faith in yourself and having that main character energy moving forward. The next thing I want to talk about is this concept of the 9 to 5. And I've had quite the amount of conversations with some of my friends about this, but just the concept of bringing yourself to work 40 hours a week for somebody else under an establishment and giving 100%, but not really either seeing the results you would like for yourself, or you feel like the company you're working for isn't really acknowledging you in the ways that you would like, and that the only way for you to be successful is to kind of do what this company is saying, or work this 9 to 5, or buy your way to be successful. But it doesn't have to be like that if you don't want it to be. The thing with working 9 to 5 is I do feel like a lot of people feel the same way, and it's unfortunate because working a 9 to 5 is not the only route you need to take in order to be a successful person. So as I mentioned before, if it means taking that leap of faith and quitting your job or doing something outside of your comfort zone that doesn't pertain to your 9 to 5, then do that. Realistically speaking, and tell me, like, I hope I'm making sense, but it doesn't sound odd to you that everybody is supposed to work a 9 to 5 and that's the only way to be successful, and how society all comes together to this one agreement that this is the only way to live life. That just doesn't sound right, because it's not, you know? And I think it's important that people step outside of that, so you have people in your life maybe you see, or even people like Steve Jobs, who step out of this idea of education and kind of doing what he wanted to do for himself. So to start, I think it's important to really think about the people around you who are already taking those steps into doing what they want to do and doing what they love to do because they can and because they want to. I myself can think of 2 people in specifically when I think about this. One I did a photo shoot with the other day. I'll probably insert a clip here. But we went to school together, and when I first met him, he was going to school. I forgot what exactly he was in school for, but he wanted to do photography, and so that's what he's doing now. He does dope, amazing photos, and if you guys want, I would leave his Instagram name here and you can go check him out. Second people are, they're 2 people. So Steph and Cam, and specifically they have an organization named Thrill that I am also a part of. I do the marketing for them. And they really put their foot down and made events happen for people in the Black community to come together and be able to celebrate one another. I like to talk to my friends a lot about just where we were before, where we are now, what's changed, what we're afraid of, what we're not afraid of, and what we hope for the future, and that's really important. I think one of the other biggest things that I took away from this idea of not wanting to dream of labor is that we live in fear, so we do things out of fear instead of love. So we all have commitments and things that we want to stick to and a lifestyle that we want to live that's expensive, but it's like you don't really benefit from it in the ways that you want to, because the way you're getting money is out of fear of not being able to do things in the future without that source of income. But if you were to put that energy, instead of the 40 hours of the week, which is a lot, and something you don't love doing, and put it into something that you do love, the outcome would be 10 times greater. And that's simply by being consistent, like you would be at your 9 to 5. If your heart is in the right place, the universe will always be on your side. You manifest what you want for yourself. So if you want to live in $1 billion home and you're taking steps to get there and you're at step 1, so long as you're staying consistent with that, and you have faith in that, the universe will be on your side and grant you opportunities to get where you need to be. One book that I stand by right now that I'm currently listening to on Audible that really resonates with me, and it's literally information that you already know about yourself, is Ask and It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. That book is amazing. It really opened up my mind to look at things from a different channel and perspective, and the idea of the universe, and it's really about how you want to go about life, and if you mentally are in the right space, you can do anything that you want to do. That's literally it, you know? But obviously they break it down into smaller pieces on how you can get there and change your mental and when steps need to be taken. But I think that's a very important book to listen to if you're in a rut right now and you feel like you're kind of at a standstill, but it's like the universe is on your side and you can do whatever you want. I think it's important for me to use myself as an example in this, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to resonate with that. I play a huge role in not wanting labor for myself, because I tried to go the traditional route that everyone else went and wasn't successful in the ways I would like to be, because I wasn't following my passion in the ways that I needed to. I did high school, I graduated. Then they really drilled into my head, because I went to a charter school, that the only way for you to be successful is by going to college. And I was shamed for going to community college and then transferring to university, but I got 2 degrees. And even after going to college and that being drilled into my head, and then transferring to university and graduating from university, and finally having that piece of paper that says, hey, like, you have step one of what it takes to get a job and to be successful. I'm still not where I want to be in life right now. And that alone says a lot about why it's important to really follow how you feel rather than the path that everybody else wants you to follow. I'm taking the steps necessary to do what I want to do by continuing with the YouTube. I've been on YouTube for years. I haven't been consistent because I didn't feel like at the time this is something that was obtainable for just anybody. How I want to work for myself, I'm taking the steps necessary to bring content to you guys. One, because it makes me feel good. I want to help other people who are in the same place that I am and feel like they're not getting anywhere. And then I want to be able to motivate people to want to do things and create content in a meaningful way. However that content is curated, I make it because I want other people to feel good about themselves the same way that I feel good making content for you guys. And I hope that message is being received. So you guys see me doing fashion content, and even I'll link it here. I did a video at the start of 2021 just talking about what I hope for moving forward for myself and YouTube as a whole. I think it's really important, especially right now, to take a step back and really reflect on where you are, because we are halfway through the year. Right now, it is June. We are halfway through 2021, and there is just so much to be accomplished. It's crazy to think that we're halfway through the year already, because I feel like it was just New Year's and everyone was like, let's get the fuck out of 2020. But we're halfway through the year, and it's important that we take the steps to completing any goals that we just haven't gotten across to doing yet. It's never too late to step into your truth and do what needs to be done because you want to do it. I think that the pandemic put a lot of that into perspective for people, because a lot of people lost their jobs, and it really gave them the opportunity to, one, step into themselves and really think about them as an individual and what they want passion-wise for themselves, whether that be starting a business or quitting their job or traveling while they're working remote because that's what they want to do. But it definitely put people through a loop, and I definitely think in a positive way, because now people are taking the steps necessary to kind of do what they want to do, either because they were laid off and they had to figure out how to do that, or because they had more time to do it because we're all stuck at home, which I think is important. I think it's really relatable to a lot of you guys, because some of you lost your jobs and your job said, hey, we can't afford to have you, figure it out. And in some kind of way, it's the same sense where it's like, although the circumstance wasn't as positive as you wanted it to be because you were let go or that you were fired, you have an opportunity now to kind of step into the things that you want to do and do what you're passionate about. The actuality of jobs is that they don't care about you. You're a number and you're very replaceable. So let's say you quit. They're going to find someone to replace you and do the same exact job that you were doing, because they're going to train them to do that and play that role until you feel burnt out or until that employee feels burnt out, and then they replace them again. Bring 100% of yourself to work every day with you when you work your 9 to 5. That's 40 hours a week. You work 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, or even longer than that. And you bring 100% of yourself. So why not bring 100% of yourself into the things that you're passionate about? I think the biggest takeaway from this video that I really want you guys to take away from is just do things because you love to do it, and set time aside for things that you want to do. It doesn't require you to quit your job, but it requires you to take that first step in the right direction in order to get to where you need to be, if the 9 to 5 really isn't the way you want to live your life, or if labor just isn't for you. And until you and I find a space and a place where we feel like we're acknowledged, whether that be entrepreneurship or even getting the dream job that you always wanted, you're just gonna have to figure it out with the faith of your own and wanting to do things because you want to do them. I think that the main takeaway I wanted to get across in this video is that you need to create that main character energy for yourself. You need to take steps in the right directions towards making sure that mentally you feel like you're at where you need to be at, and also strong enough mentally to make sure that regardless of what anybody says to you, that your dreams and how you feel about what you want to do moving forward exceeds other people's perceptions of what they want for you. Because in reality, people who tell you you can't are just too scared to do it themselves. And sometimes it's our family and our friends, and it's supposed to be coming from a place of loving care, but it's really coming out of a place of fear, because not that many people take a step into certain industries, but it's the people who do take that step who end up being successful and doing things that people said that they couldn't do. So I encourage you to take that first step for yourself, even if it's in the smallest way, like I said, like stepping into the gym or making that first YouTube video, because it starts now, and then go from there and see how it goes. But be your own main character. Step into your main character energy. Read books to help you encourage yourself. Watch other videos here that are going to encourage you to want to take those steps. And do things because you're passionate about it, not because you're doing it out of fear. Stop letting society tell you how to live your life because everybody else is doing it. Be your own person. Be your own entrepreneur. And love yourself beyond anything else. Because at the end of the day, it's just you. It's just you. You know, you're going to have to do it for yourself because you love yourself, and nobody can tell you that but yourself. And as I told you guys before, I'm real expensive. Okay, so I'm trying to live the lifestyle and be able to afford it for myself, you know? And if that means taking uncomfortable steps in the right direction, then I'm gonna do that. But please give this video a thumbs up if you like this video. Please list down if you're going through the same thing where, you know, you feel like you're in a space that you don't really want to be in, and you want to take steps in the right direction to getting to where you need to be, but it's a little bit scary. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.